Okay, let's talk about the role of luck and specifically what you're telling yourself about the role of luck in your success. This is so important because where you are now is you have a belief about luck that's actually holding you back. And that belief is, my success is down to luck. Any minute now, it's going to run out, right? Everything I've achieved up until now, it's been by chance. And therefore, I have no control over my success in the future. That's literally what you're really saying. Just think about it for a minute. My success is down to luck. What you're actually saying is, I shouldn't be here. I'm not qualified or good enough to be here. So when you think about the next role or the next promotion, just think about the impact that has on your willingness to go for that promotion, or if you're in that role, on your ability to do that role, to perform that role to your highest ability. When you tell yourself, my success is down to luck, I shouldn't be here, I'm not enough to be here, right? Any minute now it's going to run out. When you tell yourself those things, it is having a direct impact on how you feel, how you show up in your work, and of course, the results you are creating in your career. Think about each stage of that, right? So first of all, when you have that thought in your mind, just from the perspective of how you feel, to think, oh, my success is down to luck, makes you feel terrible. It creates that feeling of being inadequate, makes you feel afraid, right? Afraid of being exposed. And of course, that all too familiar feeling that you are not enough. And those of you who are aware of imposter syndrome and know what that is and what that feels like and that you experience it, you will recognize those feelings very well, the not enoughness. And here's why this matters. When you are showing up to your day, showing up to your work, showing up to your relationships, your conversations, to every project, every opportunity, thinking my success is down to luck, you behave very differently. It makes you smaller, you shrink. You will do, if anything, you will avoid the opportunities that come your way rather than leaning into them, rather than going for them. If a role comes up that you are qualified for, you'll be the first one to look for reasons why you shouldn't be the one to go for it, right? You will be the first one to say, oh, but I'm not 100% qualified, so I can't go for that role. And if you're like one of my clients in Be the First, you'll even go to the lens of thinking about other people who you think would be better suited for that role. This is the kind of behavior and actions that I see you taking, and it comes from this feeling of inadequacy, that you're not enough, which comes from this belief that your success so far has been down to luck. So if you are right now not speaking up in meetings, if you're thinking I have to work twice as hard, if you're not recording your hours, if you're comparing yourself to other people, I see this a lot within Confident Black Lawyers, which is my confidence program for Black lawyers. I'll tell you more about that at the end. If this is you, I want you to pay really close attention to the thoughts that you are having and listen out for the thought, the belief, my success is down to luck. And know that when that's how you're showing up to your work, you're not delivering to your potential, you're not going to reach your potential at this level or the next level. And over time, this is going to compound into to leave you in a place where you feel left behind because other people are being promoted ahead of you. And it's going to give you that feeling of staying stuck, being stuck, and might even lead you down the road of thinking, well, I'm not cut out for this, I want to give up, right? And we don't want that. So in this session, I'm going to tell you how to change all of that. I want you to change your perspective on luck, how you think about luck, your understanding of the role of luck in your success. And what I'm going to teach you is just going to give you such a powerful mind shift that has the role of luck not working against you in the ways I've just outlined, but actually the role of luck working for you and serving you, right? Elevating you to a place, to a level of confidence where you actually do show up to your potential and perform to that level as well. So before I tell you how to do that, there are 3 mistakes that I see you making in response to this, in relation to, let's say that, your relationship with luck. So you have this thought, as I've said, my success is down to luck. And I hear you, like, speaking to, coaching within confident Black lawyers, I hear you go to any one or more of the following, like 3 solutions to that, right? How you try to respond to that belief, that thought, that icky feeling that my success is down to luck. So the first thing you do is, or one of the things you might do, is you try to ignore it. You try to suppress it, right? And what I mean by that is, you know it's there, but you don't actually address it. You don't engage with whether it's true, whether it's not true. You just carry the feeling around with you. And I know this response so well because that used to be me. I constantly had that feeling that my success was down to luck. Like when I was a junior lawyer, in my first years of being, my first seats of being a trainee, and also like when I was at university and when I was at law school as well, I had that thought, my success is down to luck. But I tried to ignore it. I tried to kind of bully my way through it and just keep working, just keep my head down, try to hope it would go away following the next achievement. The problem with ignoring it though, as with any powerful thought that creates an emotion in us of not enoughness, it doesn't go away. It doesn't matter how much you achieve, how many successes that you have to your name. Actually, the thought, my success is down to luck, and those feelings of not enoughness that it creates, they don't just disappear. So they stay with you. And what happens is, although they may not be on the surface, they are there underneath and they are impacting your behavior. I've already talked about how you show up. How you show up is a product of you having that unprocessed, unmanaged thought that your success is down to luck. And I'll come to the kind of processed and the management of that thought in a moment, because that's the solution I'm going to be offering you today. So just notice if you are someone who has the thought, my success is down to luck, but you try to ignore it. You suppress it underneath all the hard work and all the activity, hoping it will go away. I want you to know it's not going away. It is impacting how you feel, right? Your not enoughness, and therefore it is showing up in how you work, in the action you take, and in the results you're creating for your career. So where you are in your career right now and why you're not reaching the goals that you want to reach, or you feel that those goals are out of reach for you, is because of this feeling that hasn't gone away. It's still there. Okay? That's the first or one of 3 common mistakes I see you making. One I made so much myself before understanding the value of this work on building confidence in who I am. That's what I'm going to be talking to. The second mistake I see so many of you making is you decide you're going to engage with it, right? This thought, my success is down to luck. And what you do is you try to resist it. You argue against it. So what you're doing is trying to tell yourself it's not true. And if you've been following any of my work on imposter syndrome, you'll know that I teach you this idea that you can resist as much as you want. Like the more you resist a thought that your brain is really practiced in thinking, and you resist it and you try and just say, no, it's not true, and you kind of go to battle against it, the more that thought holds on and resists back, right? So what happens is you're like, no, but I worked so hard to get here and it's not true, my success is down to luck. But all that happens, like one of the things I say is imposter syndrome, which my success is down to luck is a symptom of, it's an example of a way of thinking that suggests you may have imposter syndrome, right? Well, that's happening is your imposter syndrome is like, yeah, well, I don't really care how hard you worked. This is what I believe. It's such a practice learned way of thinking that just presenting yourself with like evidence that it's not true isn't going to work. And if you are someone who's been trying to battle this thought, the thought that your success is down to luck, if you've been trying to battle this thought, you'll know it doesn't work. So just say, yeah, but I worked really hard to get here. So resisting it, arguing against it full on directly doesn't work. All your brain is going to do is offer you the same pattern of thinking, offer you lots of evidence that your success is down to luck. We're going to come back to that as well in a moment. Okay, so the third mistake I see so many of you making You may be making one of these mistakes or all of these mistakes. I think I tried all of them actually, but especially number one, the ignoring it and hoping it will go away. But the third one is where you actually wholly agree with it. And I want to argue that this is perhaps the most common response that I see you making, which is, oh yeah, well, it's true. My success is down to luck. And what happens is, by wholly agreeing with it, you are completely disempowering yourself. You're basically saying, I had nothing to do with it. Okay, yeah, I was there in the interview, but I had nothing to do with getting the job. Right? So you're taking away all your power, stripping yourself of all of the credit and all of the potential opportunity for confidence building, belief in yourself, that owning your successes, having ownership over the trajectory of your career and the decisions and the stepping stones and the journey you've been on to this point. All of that is so much gold for building your confidence. But as long as you are going to say or telling yourself, my success is down to luck, and that's true, and if it wasn't for luck, I wouldn't be here, as long as you're wholly agreeing with that thought that your brain is offering you by default, out of habit, then you will never reach your potential. You will never escape that cycle of feeling terrible, feeling not enough, showing up as less than you are, showing up and performing below your potential, and having the result that you think you can't succeed in this industry, or you think you have to leave, or you feel stuck and left behind. We don't want any of that. So here's what I want to offer that you do instead of all and any of those three. So right now you're telling yourself, my success is down to luck. I've told you not to ignore that feeling. I've told you not to resist that feeling. I've told you not to completely agree with that feeling. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to own it. Own the role of luck in your career and in your success today. Here's what I mean by that. What I mean is, I want you to acknowledge that luck did play a role in your success, right, to this point. But you must recognize, this is what I'm offering for you to do, recognize that you were the one who created it. So yes, you are lucky, but you create the luck. This was absolutely transformative for me. Literally the switch from my success is down to luck to, yeah, but I create my own luck, was the most empowering transformational shift. Of all the shifts, that was one of the top ones. Just think about that for a minute. Think about a task that's in front of you right now, or an opportunity that's come up or that's just passed. If you believe that that was just down to luck, how does that feel? Versus if you believe, oh, I created, that was lucky, that's lucky that that opportunity is here, but I created that opportunity. Just notice how different that feels in your body. Notice the different emotions that produces. Notice how more empowered you feel. Notice how more confident you feel to go after that opportunity or to tackle that task in front of you. When you believe that you create your own luck, it completely changes your relationship, with yourself, but with luck in the most empowering and powerful way. In a way that makes you feel confident, show up confidently, and then create results that reflect your true potential, right? So this is what we want. Instead of resisting it, instead of ignoring it, instead of agreeing with it, what we want to do when your brain offers you the thought, my success is down to luck, you want to own it. Acknowledge, yes, success played a role, but recognize you are the one to create it. Here's what's going to happen. You are going to feel so much better. As I've said, you're going to feel empowered, more confident. And what I love about this approach, when you can really own the role of luck in your life and in your success, I love the confidence it gives you so that other people can't diminish you. So there's a confidence it gives you in terms of how you then show up in your role, your approach, your response to opportunities that come up. But there's also how you respond when other people might, for example, suggest or hint or intimate that your success is down to luck, or you're here because you're lucky. And we all know that can happen, right? If you are a black lawyer and you're given an opportunity or given a promotion, there's likely to be someone there around the corner or just waiting in the sidelines to say, oh, but you got lucky. Oh, it was D and I. I'm hearing a lot of that come back up at the moment. And what I love about you having ownership over the role of luck in your success and in your life and in your career is comments like that, they just wash over you. They don't affect you at all. You are impermeable. When you build your confidence to the level where you can see that you are the one that creates luck in your own life, you acknowledge the role of luck, but use you as the I was going to say instigator. I'm not sure if that's the right word. You as the driver, the creator of that luck, completely changes who you are in the workplace, completely changes who you are in the face of somebody who has their own thoughts, right, about why you're here and how you got here. They become so small, you become so big. I love that about this empowering thought. The other thing that's going to happen when you have this thought, I created it, I create my own luck, is you're going to start noticing more and more evidence that this is true. Think about what not what I call, but I've referred to several times, what psychologists have called confirmation bias. It's where we have an idea in our brain or a thought in our brain, and our brain will then just filter all of the information coming in and just look for evidence to prove that that thought is true. That's why if you have the thought, my success is down to luck, what you will do subconsciously, sometimes consciously, is find lots of evidence that you're just lucky. You just got lucky. Versus now, with this new and more empowering thought, I create my own luck, your brain will do the same, but in your favor, to your advantage. So it will look for evidence, it will find evidence that it's true that you are the creator of your own luck. I have this story which I tell my clients so much inside Be The First, but also inside Confident Black Lawyers, my confidence building program for Black lawyers at every level, by the way. This work is so important at every level. Thoughts like, my success is down to luck, I see it coming up at every single level, senior levels, partnership level, right? GC level is coming up, that doubt, that questioning over your success. So within my programs, both of those programs, I tell an example of, I take it outside the career context, but I tell the example of how I'm a lucky parker. I tell all my family I'm a lucky parker. I just go, and wherever I go, I find a parking space, right? And my family find this really funny. They're like, no, you don't. You don't create your own parking spaces. You just get lucky. I'm like, yeah, but I create the luck that gives me the parking space. Now, you could argue, if you wanted to, you could, or rather I, given that this is my thought, right, about the parking, I could argue that I just get lucky when I go to park my car in my town where there's it's always so busy and no one else can find any parking space. I could tell myself my success of always getting a park where I want to is down to luck, but I don't. I absolutely recognize that luck has a role to play, but I see myself as the person who creates that luck. And I just find more and more evidence of that being true. Every time I go into town, I'm like, right, I'm going to park exactly where I want. I want to go to the dry cleaners today. I'm going to park outside the dry cleaners today. Or anywhere along the high street, which is near Waitrose would be fine, because I also want to pop into Waitrose. That's literally what I say to myself when I go into town and I need to park the car. Yeah, I decide, I create my own luck. I have this self-concept and belief about myself. And as a result of that, my brain finds more and more evidence that I'm somebody who creates my own luck. And I get more and more lucky, right? Lucky because I'm creating all this luck through the power of my belief and my thoughts that I am the creator of my luck. Can you see how this works? It works really powerfully in that simple example of me finding a parking space. You can try that too, by the way. But it also works really powerfully in bigger stakes scenarios, right? In real life, in your career. It's so important that you have ownership over the role of luck in your success. Something you'll notice, and you'll hear this when I come to giving you just 3 really simple steps about how to own the role of luck in your success. But what you'll notice is I'm talking about the role of luck. I'm literally acknowledging that luck has a role to play. So to bring you back to those 3 mistakes that I see so many of you making, either ignoring it, hoping it will go away, or completely arguing against it or wholeheartedly agreeing with it. What I'm offering you is none of those three. I'm offering you an alternative to those three, which is, and now I'll talk you through the steps of how you own your own luck. The first step is the acceptance that luck has a role to play. Okay, so let me talk you through those 3 steps. So you've been hearing me have that kind of thread throughout everything I've been saying, that yeah, luck has a role to play. At no point have I said to you that the answer is that it's nothing to do with luck. And that's one of the ways you're going wrong, remember. So here's a 3-step process that I'm going to teach you to own the role of luck. So number 1 is acceptance. This is the bit I've been speaking to, alluding to, hinting at all the way through. It's accepting that luck has had a role to play. Accepting you've been lucky. I think back on my life, my career, my school life, my university, law school, my training contract, my years as a lawyer, international finance lawyer, even where I am now as the Black Lawyers Coach. Like, I think about that and all along the way. And there are so many scenarios, far too many for me to name here, where I can see luck played a role. I mean, it's just incredible that somehow, just like I ended up being at this all-white boarding school where I was given opportunities I would not have otherwise had. Like, did I put my hand up and say I want to go to an all-white boarding school? No, I did not. Absolutely not. But there was some degree of luck involved there, right? I ended up going to then, when it came to finding a secondary school, I didn't have any secondary school and all the applications had closed. And when we went to finally apply, thanks to my maths teacher at my primary school, when he reached out to a school on my behalf, even though it was outside of the application window and they'd already allocated all the places, they initially said no to me, didn't offer me a place. And then at a certain point, they changed their mind and said yes. I could see that as an example of luck playing a role. There are so many examples of where luck, of course I was lucky, but it goes deeper than that. What I want to offer to you is you are lucky, I am lucky, because luck has a role to play in everybody's lives. We're all lucky. Certainly all of the people that you have in your world, work with, engage with, socialize with. Luck is there somewhere. We can find luck in everybody's scenario. Your white peers have had so much luck. Your black colleagues have had so much luck. Your boss, your trainees, anyone more junior to you, students. Luck always plays a role. Luck is part of life. So the first step is to accept the role of luck. It's part of the human experience. Okay? So we accept the role of luck. It did have a role to play. So when your brain offers you, my success is down to luck, or if somebody else says to you, you're lucky to be here, say, yeah, luck played a role. Absolutely. That's what acceptance is. No more resisting it, no more ignoring it. But we can't stop there. What we're not doing is abdicating all of the credit, all of the responsibility to luck, right? The responsibility for our success, the credit for our success. We're not giving it all to luck. We want to also, and this is step number 2, this is going to help you, step number 2 in the 3 steps to owning the role of luck in your success. Step number 2 is recognition. It's recognizing that you are the hero in this story. You are the one that created that luck, right? And that recognition, there are 2 parts to it, is the willingness to have the thought that I create my own luck. And it's being willing to look at the world, look at your story through that lens. Really being able to, giving your brain an opportunity to do what it likes to do, which is do that confirmation bias I talked about. Look for evidence of what it already thinks, look for evidence that that is true, right? So it's the work of having the thought, I create my own luck, and being willing to find evidence that that is true. Being open to evidence that that is true. In Confident Black Lawyers, one of the key steps in one of the key modules is around being the hero of your own story. This is such a huge part of it. And one of the things I teach you is how to look back on the things that have happened over the course of your career or of your life that up until now you're like, oh, well, I got lucky. My success was down to luck. It wasn't up to me, right? It is what I help you do is to look back on your story, your journey, and see how you were the hero, see the role that you played. And so when it comes to your thoughts about luck, what you will see is you're the hero, you're the one that created the luck. So that's step number 2, it's recognition, recognizing yourself as the hero of your story. I challenge you to think of any hero story, right? Any movie that features a hero in it. And I challenge you to watch it through this lens of the role of luck. Like, where did the role of luck play in? Do you see it? You'll find evidence of the role of luck in any hero story. But what you will also see, and what is there because it's the hero story, is how the hero's actions, decisions, commitment, hard work, everything the hero does contributes to the luck that is created. So if you're someone who, for example, got given a training contract, right, after a certain application, a certain number of applications, and you feel that that was down to luck, right, I want to challenge you to think of what are all the things that I did in order to enable luck to take over, right, enable that to happen. What did I do? What was my role? So this is the recognition piece, being the hero of your story. Yeah, the hero of any story doesn't have things happen to them. They're not passive. There are events and circumstances, but the hero is responsive. The hero drives the action. All right, and that's you in the role of your life and your story to now. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to recognize. This is going to help you own the role of luck in your success today. And then the third and final step is to get to work, is to take action. So now that you've accepted that luck has a role to play, but you recognize that you are the one that creates the luck, the third thing is to go out and create more of it. What we want to do is be reinforcing your role as the creator of luck, you being the one that creates your own luck. We want to keep reinforcing that message to your brain. And also just keep creating more luck for yourself, because in doing so, you're creating more success for yourself. Okay, so there you have it, just like 3 really simple steps I've walked you through to help you to own the role of luck in your success. Acceptance, recognition, and then action. Get to work, go out and create some more luck. Now, before I sign off, I do want to warn you that what to expect is some resistance, right? Your brain will want to challenge the idea that you create your own luck. Remember the confirmation bias that will be operative based on your old thought that your success is down to luck and you had nothing to do with it. That will keep going. So you'll feel some resistance to doing this work. You might even be like, I didn't create my own luck. This thing happened. I had nothing to do with it. I just want you to notice that. And what I want to offer you, as I do when I give you these transformations, these mindset shifts, is there are 2 very different paths that you can go on, and they are both, let's say they are both equally true. Let's say it's true that your success is completely down to luck, and that's one like journey or route or road you can follow. And let's say you create your own luck is another route that you could follow. There's evidence for both of those. I want you to think about where each of those roads will take you. Where is the belief and the thought, and where you are now, my success is down to luck, where is that taking you? How does that make you feel? How are you showing up? What results are you creating, going through life, showing up to your work, facing opportunities with the thought, oh, my success is down to luck? Think about where that's going to continue to lead you versus the thought, I create my own luck. Yes, I've been lucky, but I created that. Think about how differently you feel, how much more empowered you feel, how much more confident you feel to then go out and tackle that next project, to then go out and seize the opportunity to, for example, attend a client event, put your hand up for a training, speak up more in meetings, like that. Those actions which you want to be doing more of, which are necessary in order for you to progress and succeed in your career, to continue your level of success, that is going to flow so much more easily and readily from the thought, I create my own luck. Yeah, like think about the confidence that starts to build in you versus how disempowered and less than enough you feel when you believe, oh, my success is down to luck. All right. So it is going to happen that your brain will put up some resistance to changing this thought about the role of luck. Of course it will. You've been thinking that for a long time. You've been looking for evidence that that's true for a long time. This is asking your brain to make a completely different shift, a really significant shift in your mindset. But I want to offer that if you're willing to do this work, the results you create will be so significantly different and better to the ones you are creating right now. You will feel differently at work. You will show up differently at work. The success of the actions that you do take, the courage you do show, the resilience you have, the resourcefulness that you do bring, all of that is going to set you off on a path to being so much better, performing so much better and so much closer to your actual potential versus underperforming because of the doubt that you have in yourself. All right? Now, what I want to add is this is exactly, as I've mentioned, this is the work we do inside Confident Black Lawyers. I have a whole series of lessons, that's what I mean by module, on your hero story and on also the mindset around the role of luck in your success. We address it head on. We look at how those thoughts are holding you back. We look at the impact it can have on you when somebody outside of you says, oh, but you're just lucky, right? And what we do is we develop really robust thinking and robust beliefs around the role you have and you have always had in creating your own luck. And we look at your story, make you the hero of the story. And what that does is it builds such a level of deep confidence in who you are that you're able to then show up to any challenge. And whenever imposter syndrome is triggered, as it so often happens, or as if you are someone who thinks my success is down to luck, something might happen to make you go back to that thought. You will know exactly what to do to overcome that thought and get yourself to the more empowering thoughts of, I create my own luck, so you can go out and then create more of it. All right, that's it from me. I hope you found that useful. Listen, tell me, what are your thoughts about luck, the role of luck in your success? What's your relationship with luck in your success? And actually not just in like the success you've had up until now, but what role do you see it playing in your future success and in your progress? So send me a comment, DM me on social media, or even email me. I'd love to hear how this lands with you. I want you to engage with me. Tell me, are you trying the 3 simple steps that I've shared with you today? And if so, what are the results you're getting? I'm here to help. All right, thank you so much for your time today. It's a pleasure as always. I'll be back next week on the podcast and on the video. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.